11 cold-hardy crops that thrive even in freezing winters, survive down to negative 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Most gardeners think their growing season ends when temperatures drop. They pack up their tools, pull out their plants, and resign themselves to buying bland supermarket produce for the next 5 months. But what if I told you that you could be harvesting crisp, fresh vegetables from your own backyard even when it's freezing outside? What if the quality of your winter harvest could rival or even surpass your summer yields? That's not just possible, it's exactly what I'm going to show you today. I'm Adam Grove from Backyard Crops, and in this video, we're exploring 10 incredible cold-hardy crops that will keep your garden producing food deep into the winter season. If you love growing your own food and want to maximize your harvest year-round, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our gardening content. And please, drop a comment below telling me which winter crop excites you the most. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Why winter gardening matters. There's nothing quite like the experience of stepping outside on a chilly winter morning, walking through your garden with frost crunching beneath your feet, and picking fresh vegetables for your dinner table. During the colder months, when grocery stores stock imported produce that's been traveling for weeks, you'll have access to nutrient-dense greens packed with vitamins and minerals that your body desperately needs during the winter season. Many home gardeners don't realize that winter gardening isn't complicated or impossible. In fact, certain crops actually prefer the cooler temperatures and grow better in fall and winter than they do in summer. The key is knowing which plants to grow, understanding how to protect them, and timing your plantings correctly. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap for creating a productive winter garden that feeds you for months. Make sure to subscribe to Backyard Crops for more detailed gardening tutorials. If this content is helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with fellow gardeners in your network.
Section 2. The importance of mulch and soil protection. Before we dive into specific crops, let's talk about one of the most overlooked aspects of winter gardening, mulch. This simple material can mean the difference between a thriving winter garden and one that struggles through the season. When the really cold weather arrives, come out to your garden beds and apply a generous layer of mulch around all your plants. I recommend using either diced leaf mulch or wood chips. This protective layer serves several critical functions. First, it insulates the soil, preventing those dramatic temperature fluctuations that can damage roots. Second, it keeps the root zone warmer, which allows your plants to continue growing even when the air temperature drops significantly. Third, it provides protection against frost heave, where freeze-thaw cycles push plants out of the ground. By taking just an hour or two before the severe cold arrives to mulch your beds, you'll extend your growing season by several weeks. Your plants will be healthier, more productive, and more resilient. This simple step allows you to harvest fresh food throughout the entire winter season. Section 3. Understanding plant maturity. One critical factor that many beginning winter gardeners overlook is the difference between established plants and seedlings. Young plants that have just been transplanted or are still in their early growth stages simply cannot withstand cold temperatures the way mature, fully established plants can. When you're planning your winter garden, timing is absolutely crucial. You need to ensure that your plants reach full maturity before the truly cold weather arrives. This means starting your seeds or transplants earlier in the season than you might think. By the time frost hits, your plant should be well developed with strong root systems and substantial foliage. Another benefit of having established plants is that you can plant them more densely than you would in spring or summer. Since growth naturally slows as sunlight decreases and temperatures drop, spacing them closer together won't create competition problems. This density also provides plants with some natural protection from harsh weather. The timing element cannot be overstated. Check your local frost dates, work backward from there, and plant accordingly. This is what separates successful winter gardeners from disappointed ones. Cold hardy crop 1. Kale, the reliable winter workhorse. Let's start with one of the most reliable cold hardy vegetables you can grow, kale. This is my go-to crop every single year and for good reason. Kale belongs to a plant group called biennials, which means these plants have a 2-year life cycle. This is incredibly advantageous because even during hot summer months, kale won't bolt and go to seed the way annual greens like lettuce will. When selecting kale varieties for winter growing, not all options are equally cold hardy. Some popular varieties include the dazzling blue, which tastes absolutely delicious and has stunning appearance, but it's not the most cold-tolerant option. For serious cold hardiness, I prefer Russian varieties. The red Russian kale and white Russian kale can withstand temperatures down to about 5 degrees Fahrenheit without any protection at all. These plants will actually continue growing through winter in many climate zones without requiring row covers or other coverings. Here's something remarkable. When frost hits your kale plants, the starches convert to sugars. This means your kale actually becomes sweeter and less bitter during cold weather. Many people find that winter harvested kale tastes significantly better than summer kale. The cold intensifies the flavor in a positive way that makes these plants truly shine during the colder seasons. The scarlet kale variety also deserves mention. It's another exceptionally cold hardy option. Each of these varieties can continue producing leaves deep into winter, providing you with fresh, nutritious greens when you need them most. Cold hardy crop 2. Red-veined sorrel, the beautiful perennial. Next we have red-veined sorrel, which is one of the most interesting cold-hardy vegetables you can grow. This is a perennial plant, meaning once established, it returns year after year without replanting. Unlike many vegetables that slow down dramatically in winter, red-veined sorrel actually thrives in cold conditions. The beauty of this plant is remarkable. With its distinctive red vein leaves, it adds visual interest to your garden even as other plants die back. When winter weather arrives and temperatures drop, this plant simply slows its growth rate, which is expected due to reduced daylight. But here's the magic. When spring returns, this plant explodes with growth. If you grew red vein sorrel the previous winter, you'll be absolutely amazed at the productivity come springtime. I've read reports that red-veined sorrel can survive temperatures as low as -20 to -30 degrees Fahrenheit, though I haven't been able to test this personally in my climate zone. Regardless, this plant is extraordinarily cold hardy, surviving temperatures well below what most vegetables can handle. The flavor profile is a bit tangy, which isn't everyone's preference, but the combination of appearance, cold hardiness, and ease of growing makes it a must-have for the winter garden. Once established, red-veined sorrel requires minimal maintenance and just keeps producing food. This is truly one of those set-it-and-forget-it crops that rewards you with years of harvests. Cold hardy crop 3. Lettuce. Delicate, but doable. Lettuce might surprise you as a winter crop since it's known as a cool season plant that bolts quickly in summer heat. Actually, lettuce is perfectly suited to winter gardening when you use the right varieties and protection methods. Standard lettuce varieties can survive temperatures down to about 20 degrees Fahrenheit without any protection. However, when you add even a simple row cover over your raised beds, your lettuce can survive temperatures down to approximately 15 degrees Fahrenheit. These lightweight covers are inexpensive and incredibly effective at extending your season. If you don't want to use season extension methods but still want to grow lettuce deeper into winter, consider using containers. Plant lettuce in pots during fall, and when heavy frosts arrive, simply move these containers into a greenhouse, cold frame, or even a south-facing window where they receive adequate light. This method allows you to extend your seasons significantly without investing in covers or other structures. When planting lettuce in late fall, you can space plants closer together than you would in spring or early summer. Since growth naturally slows considerably as days shorten and temperatures drop, this dense spacing won't create problems. In fact, this closer spacing might help protect individual plants from wind and temperature fluctuations. Remember that lettuce variety selection matters just as much as the type of crop. Choose proven cold-hardy lettuce varieties for best results. Cold-hardy crop 4, Tatsoi, the beautiful Asian green. Tatsoi genuinely is one of the most cold-hardy vegetables I've ever grown. This Asian green continues producing food throughout winter with absolutely no covering needed, even in Zone 7A where I garden. You can literally look out your window during winter, see snow covering the ground, and still spot tatsoi peeking through, actively growing. The shape of tatsoi is distinctive. It forms a beautiful rosette pattern that looks almost like a lotus flower. Beyond its aesthetic appeal, this plant is incredibly nutritious, packed with vitamin C and other essential nutrients. The flavor is mild and sweet, making it attractive to people who might be sensitive to strong greens like mustard or arugula. This plant can withstand temperatures down to approximately 10 degrees Fahrenheit. While I also grow tatsoi in spring, it doesn't perform quite as well then. Because once genuine summer heat arrives, this plant really struggles. It strongly dislikes high temperatures, which is why winter is actually its peak growing season. For gardeners in milder climates, tatsoi is almost too easy to grow. It's nearly impossible to fail with this crop. Even in harsher climates, with proper mulching and possibly light row cover protection, tatsoi will provide you with fresh greens all winter long.
Cold-hardy crop 5 is spinach. Choose the right variety. Spinach deserves careful attention when planning your winter garden, particularly regarding variety selection. Not all spinach varieties are equally cold-hardy. This is where doing your homework really matters. For winter growing, seek out varieties specifically bred for cold tolerance. Giant winter spinach and winter Bloomsdale spinach are two excellent examples. These varieties were developed specifically to handle cold temperatures and shorter daylight hours. They'll survive temperatures down to about 15 degrees Fahrenheit and continue producing even under snow cover. In spring and summer, I grow completely different spinach varieties like Avon spinach, which is bred for heat tolerance and bolt resistance. That heat-focused breeding is irrelevant for winter. What you need is cold tolerance. Here's what many new gardeners don't realize. Just because snow covers your spinach doesn't mean your season is over. Yes, growth slows dramatically or even stops completely, but your spinach sits under that snow perfectly preserved. Come spring, as temperatures warm and daylight returns, this same spinach springs back to life with renewed vigor. This is actually one of the easiest vegetables to grow through winter because spinach is fundamentally a cool season crop. It naturally prefers temperatures that would make most summer vegetables shiver. Cold-hardy crop 6 is Swiss chard, the nutrient powerhouse. Swiss chard is what I call a plant-and-forget-about-it crop. Bill Mollison, one of my gardening heroes and a pioneer of permaculture, frequently mentioned that North Americans simply don't plant enough chard. This nutrient-dense green deserves far more attention than it receives. The beauty of chard is that you can plant it once and harvest for months. I planted chard in spring, watched it thrive through summer, continue producing in fall, and it's still going strong heading into deep winter. This same plant has thick, developed stems from months of growth, which means it's incredibly cold-hardy. Unlike many vegetables that need full sun, chard actually adapts well to partial shade. As days grow shorter and the sun's angle lowers in the sky, many plants produce less, but chard handles these conditions gracefully. You can actually position chard in shadier areas of your garden where other plants would struggle, and it will continue thriving and producing. Chard can survive temperatures around 15 degrees Fahrenheit without protection. In mild winters, a healthy chard plant established earlier in the season will produce throughout the entire winter. The flavor is mild, never bitter, and the colorful varieties like bright lights add visual appeal to your garden beds. This is truly an incredible plant that far too many home gardeners overlook. Start growing chard and you'll quickly understand why so many farmers and gardeners consider it an essential crop.
Cold-hardy crop 7. Clatonia, the delicate winter lettuce. Clatonia, also known as miner's lettuce, is another wonderful winter green that deserves more recognition. This delicate plant has a soft, pleasant texture and a subtle lemony flavor that sets it apart from other greens. Clatonia can withstand temperatures down to approximately 10 degrees Fahrenheit, which is impressive for such a delicate-looking plant. What makes Clatonia special is its ability to grow in conditions that would challenge most other vegetables. It thrives in low light levels and cold temperatures, which are exactly the conditions you have during winter months. In most home gardens, Clatonia grows throughout the entire winter, with zero protection or season extension methods. It's genuinely that cold hardy. One characteristic to understand is that Clatonia reseeds itself quite prolifically in spring. This can be either wonderful or problematic depending on your preferences. If you want free Clatonia popping up everywhere next spring, simply let it flower and set seed. If you prefer to control where it grows, cut back the flowering stalks before seeds mature. The combination of cold hardiness, shade tolerance, minimal care requirements, and pleasant flavor makes Clatonia an excellent addition to any winter garden. Cold hardy crop 8. Arugula, peppery winter appeal. Arugula is a vegetable I grow for a completely different reason than many gardeners. During spring and summer, arugula tends to bolt rapidly once temperatures warm up, and its flavor becomes excessively peppery and bitter. These characteristics make it less enjoyable during warm seasons, but perfect for winter growing. Certain varieties like ice breed arugula have been selected specifically for cold tolerance. These varieties can typically survive temperatures down to approximately 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The peppery, nutty flavor that makes arugula challenging to grow in summer becomes perfectly balanced and enjoyable when grown in winter. Arugula grows beautifully in containers, which gives you flexibility in managing your winter harvest. You can start several pots of arugula during fall, keep them in productive spots, and enjoy fresh harvests throughout winter. The peppery bite of arugula adds wonderful complexity to winter salads, and it's an essential ingredient in many winter salad combinations. Even after light frosts, arugula continues producing. This makes it a reliable addition to your winter vegetable rotation. Cold hardy crop 9. Mustard greens, color and flavor. Mustard greens are incredibly cold hardy and come in an amazing variety of colors and textures. I grow several different mustard varieties, each with unique characteristics. The Japanese giant red mustard is beautiful with its dark coloring and grows quickly. Then there's the wasabi leaf mustard, which is truly unique. This variety supposedly mimics the flavor profile of wasabi, and remarkably, it actually does deliver a similar heat and bite. The leaves have fascinating frilly edges that create visual interest in any garden bed. All mustard greens can survive temperatures down to approximately 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Just like kale, when frost arrives and temperatures drop, these greens become sweeter and less bitter. This means mustard greens are actually at their best during fall and winter months. This is when you should grow them if flavor is your priority. Mustard greens grow well in containers, making them versatile for different gardening situations. They produce prolifically and continue providing harvests throughout the coldest months. The variety of colors and flavors available makes mustard greens essential for any interesting winter garden.
Cold hardy crop 10. Parsley and cilantro, fresh winter herbs. Rounding out our 10 main crops are 2 essential herbs, parsley and cilantro. While I'm combining them as one entry, they have different cold tolerances and growth characteristics. Cilantro is relatively cold hardy and can survive temperatures down to approximately 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This herb grows beautifully and offers wonderful flavor for winter cooking. However, parsley is even more cold hardy, surviving temperatures down to around 15 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes even 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's the strategic recommendation. Grow both of these herbs in containers rather than directly in garden beds. When you harvest herbs in containers during winter, you can move these pots into your home near a south-facing window if temperatures drop too severely. This way, you maintain a supply of fresh herbs growing on your kitchen windowsill during the coldest months. This approach makes perfect sense economically and practically.
Instead of bundling up and heading outside to harvest herbs during freezing weather, you simply step into your kitchen and pick what you need. This accessibility encourages you to actually use these herbs regularly. Bill Mollison used to say about herbs that if you have to wet your slippers to get to them, they're planted too far away. Growing herbs in containers near your kitchen solves this problem beautifully. Bonus crops. Expand your winter harvest. Beyond our main 10 crops, several other vegetables deserve mention as excellent winter growing options. Zucchini Savoy is similar to Tatsoi, with a more upright growth habit. The leaves have beautiful crinkled texture, which is why it's sometimes called snow vegetable. This crop is extremely cold hardy down to approximately 10 degrees Fahrenheit and offers wonderful flavor and visual appeal. Mizuna resembles mustard greens with very similar cold tolerance, surviving temperatures around 15 degrees Fahrenheit. This Japanese green has a spicy flavor profile, though it's not as intensely peppery as true mustard greens. Mizuna grows prolifically and represents another excellent winter garden addition. Mosh, also called corn salad, is another option you might consider. This is extremely cold hardy, surviving temperatures around 10 degrees Fahrenheit or even lower. While it's not my personal favorite winter crop, it's worth trying if you want to experiment with additional varieties. These bonus options give you even more flexibility in designing your perfect winter garden.
Section 4. Bonus crop. Carrots for winter harvest. Let me share one more incredibly valuable winter crop that many gardeners overlook: carrots. Carrots planted in fall can remain in the ground throughout winter and provide fresh harvests deep into the season. When temperatures drop, carrots undergo a fascinating transformation. The plant begins converting starches into sugars, essentially creating a natural antifreeze that helps the carrot survive freezing temperatures. Additionally, these sugars make winter carrots significantly sweeter than carrots harvested in fall or spring. The critical timing consideration is pulling your carrots before the ground completely freezes solid. Once soil freezes hard, carrots become mushy and unsuitable for eating. This is where mulch becomes essential. Apply a generous mulch layer around your carrot planting area. This keeps soil insulated and prevents it from freezing solid, allowing you to harvest carrots even late into winter. When properly mulched, you can step outside during cold months, brush aside the protective mulch, and harvest fresh carrots from the ground. These carrots will be sweeter and more delicious than grocery store alternatives. Section 5. The 3 keys to winter gardening success. Through everything we've covered today, 3 critical principles emerge as essential to winter gardening success. Key 1. Variety selection. Not all varieties within a crop type are equally cold hardy. You need to choose varieties specifically bred for cold tolerance and winter growing. The difference between a winter-tolerant variety and a spring variety can be dramatic. Spend time researching and selecting the right varieties for your climate and goals. Key 2. Season extension methods. Roll covers, cold frames, and hoop houses can dramatically extend your season and protect plants from the harshest weather. These don't need to be expensive or complicated. A simple roll cover made from lightweight fabric can mean the difference between success and failure for borderline hardy crops. Key 3. Timing and maturity. Plant your winter crops early enough that they reach full maturity before truly cold weather arrives. Young seedlings simply cannot withstand cold temperatures. Mature, established plants are far more resilient. Work backward from your first frost date and plant accordingly. Section 6. Why winter gardening matters. Even if you don't generate massive quantities of food from your winter garden, the psychological and nutritional benefits are profound. During winter months, when fresh produce is scarce or expensive, being able to walk out to your garden and harvest nutrient-dense greens provides an incredible boost of vitamins and minerals. Beyond nutrition, there's genuine joy in maintaining an active garden during months when most gardeners have given up.
While others see winter as an end to the growing season, you'll be actively gardening, harvesting, and eating from your own landscape. The beauty of a snow-covered garden with green plants still producing food visible through the snow is something that photographs beautifully and reminds you that nature continues its cycles regardless of season. If you're interested in continuing this winter growing journey, I encourage you to join the Backyard Crops community. Subscribe to this channel for more detailed gardening tutorials, seasonal guides, and innovative growing techniques. The gardening community here shares ideas, challenges, and successes regularly. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. This feedback helps us create more content that resonates with gardeners like you. Drop a comment below and tell us, which of these winter crops are you most excited to try? Have you grown any of these before? What cold hardy vegetables do we miss that you've had success with? Your feedback helps shape our future content. Share this video with fellow gardeners in your network. Spread the word about winter gardening possibilities. Help others discover that their growing season doesn't need to end when temperatures drop.